Okay. Hi, class. Thank you so much for deciding to engage in this short expert interview. Today, I'm incredibly excited to introduce someone I've had the pleasure of working with as a fellow restaurant manager. With more than 2 decades of leadership experience in child welfare, youth development, and statewide system improvements, she's led and built major programs across Arizona and managed multi-million portfolios. In her last position, she served as a statewide director for Arizona's Children Association, where she strengthened and expanded youth programs, spearheaded adoption of management systems statewide. Lori Olotani, thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview.
Yes, thank you for asking me.
So when I was assigned this, I was super excited, and especially when you agreed, because I don't think I could get anyone else to agree that has an extensive background
Okay.
as you. So again, just thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So our topic is business communication.
Mhm.
First question. Do you think business communication is still a good skill to have with the prevalence of AI being able to just whip it up on the fly in so many formats? Students can really pose a good question on whether or not it's a good skill to even work on.
Okay. It's a really good question. Obviously, communication has evolved tremendously over the past several decades. I think it's actually incredibly important because I think a lot of folks kind of think of business communication just as maybe the tools that we use, like Microsoft Teams or emails, but it's so much broader in its scope in that it's everything from if you need to sit down and coach an employee or give performance feedback. It is in one of my chapters in my career, I worked in public policy. So I was using business communication to persuade lawmakers to sponsor bills. And that's that sort of persuasion style of communication. So because business communication isn't just a one faceted thing, it really requires a human touch. AI can do amazing things. And I actually, I use AI quite a bit for all different things. And sometimes it is simple to just, I just want to get a quick email response out and I'm just too busy to take the time and the finesse. So I do use it as a tool, but I always then go back and put in the human touch. The thing that AI is not able to do and probably will never be able to do is really make human-based decisions and really get a sense of authentic timing. So it can bust out some, social media copy or things like that, or even like give me a table of contacts. Like it really is useful for a lot of things that should be freeing us time so that we can then work and really perfect more of those human element skills. And that's really got to do with timing, tact, finesse, like how are you going to even approach a conversation? How do you introduce yourself? Do you know your audience? Like not every room you're in and you're speaking is going to be the same vibe or audience. And so all of that little detail, that human finesse is something I think needs to be coached, developed, and you need to kind of learn it. I don't think a computer can do it for us completely.
I do love that input. There's so much human nuance to a situation
Yeah.
that I don't think AI is quite there yet, or if it ever will be, because there's so much context you have to feed it
Yeah.
that it's so difficult. There's you take in so many inputs as a human, just the again nuances of human relationships that
Yeah.
I think could be very easily done to feed into something like AI, even though it can, pump out those things. It's way quicker than anyone can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so question two. Has business communication brought you any meaningful experiences in your career?
Business communication has definitely brought me meaningful experiences. Working in public policy was a really interesting experience for me. My role at that time was I was actually coaching young people who had experienced foster care firsthand and had aged out of the system without permanent adults. I was coaching them to give testimony, and we were actually, again, looking for bills to be sponsored to help them with their academics. So like it was a bill that we got sponsored and actually did become a law that actually allowed for a tuition waiver for those who were exiting foster care with no legal permanent adult. So they could at least go to a state school for free. So that's one of the pieces of legislation I got to work on that I feel like it was a fun and enjoyable experience because I'm coaching these young people, and really they are the ones going in front of the lawmakers and following the decorum, and you know I'm kind of supporting behind the scenes while they do the work. And again, it's like all of that, like the subtlety of communication, and like here's the background on this lawmaker, and so it really is it was really an enjoyable process for me. But also, yeah, the result was, you know, we had bills become laws that really did a lot of good things to open up opportunities for young people that were really in a vulnerable spot otherwise. So I feel like there was direct impact there, but then also just, um, yeah, just the other thing that I kind of have done is a lot with marketing, and I've done a lot of business communications that were very much like article writing and press releases and stuff like that. So that's been really enjoyable as well, just to have different type communication experiences. Yeah, but I think probably bills becoming a law that actually impacted kids, you know, forevermore, hopefully. That's
Yeah,
probably my biggest.
that is incredible. I mean, it's not just like a meaningful experience,
Mhm.
but as well for those kids, kind of mentoring them through all
Yeah.
of that system when otherwise I don't see it happening without them.
No, like it takes a person to show you how to do it in that situation. Public policy and navigating a state capital is very much that way. Like you have to like learn from a human. There's no robot that's going to show you, you know, like it's all about the finesse and communication.
All right. Is there anything you're still personally working on?
I still personally working on. Yes, yes, because like as like just a self-reflective personal growth thing. So like, when it comes to communication, um, I can be a little too straightforward. So I can just like come right at it. And I do need to soften in certain contexts and certain conversations a little bit more. So there's always still room for personal growth.
Yeah, yeah. Even as like as just like your career path like really focused on being straightforward? Is that like why, or is it just you as a person?
Um, that's a really good question. I think because the the really major trajectory of my career started when I was in behavioral health and child welfare environments. And I think the importance of extremely clear and concise communication that is not influenced too much by personal opinion and things like that. Like it's very intentional. Like the communication, whether it be documentation about a child or an incident, or you're communicating about a grant, or even just trying to coach and develop and train staff, it's got to be clear, it's got to be concise, and just really professional. So I think I kind of grew up in that because my first, once I was like probably 23 when I first started in that domain. So that's really where it probably started.
Oh, okay. All right. I actually wrote different questions on my paper. I
All right.
apologize.
That's
Do you mind
okay.
pulling up the last two?
No sweat. We got this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So we covered relevancy,
Mhm.
daily use. How do you use business communication on the daily?
So on the daily, I am my current role here with Kybrand is we co-manage the busiest restaurant in all of Gallatin County here at the airport, which is definitely a unique environment to work in.
Yeah.
And yeah, in order for things to get where they need to be, when they need to be in this airport environment with all the comings and goings and needs, I literally Teams I live on Teams basically. So that is definitely part of my daily communication. It's different depending on everywhere I've worked, the tools. So I feel like we're very Teams heavy here.
Yeah.
But I don't have to check my email as much. You know, it's kind of a
So
kind
much.
of a different, yeah, yeah. But I would say that would be my go-to on the daily.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
That's fun.
So yeah. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think we're on our last question.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So is there any important advice you would give your past self in terms of business
Yeah.
communication?
Yeah, it would actually. So I think in terms of business communication, I would tell myself to listen more than I speak. I would definitely tell my younger self, like, you might have that idea and it might be all very exciting for you, but wait till people are receptive, or, you know, definitely do a lot more listening. I feel like in my career, I always felt better working relationships with folks when I realized that I was doing more listening than talking. Um, and so that is definitely something that I wish I would have started that earlier on. I think I would have probably, yeah, just had a stronger network earlier.
I feel like I can personally relate to that.
Yeah.
I think I am very gung ho when I have ideas,
Mhm.
and I tend to trudge straight into what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I take time to listen to people, granted, but I think I could do better listening. Um, I think especially in like my current
Yeah.
projects with the kitchen IT stuff and rolling out new back of house, um, just kind of checklists.
Yeah.
My initial presentation to our line leads
Mm-hmm.
like needed to be worked on at least 50% of it.
Okay.
And I don't think I've gotten that much meaningful feedback when I've done other things before that.
Okay.
And I think immediately going to those leads and
Mhm.
asking them about things really, really helped.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that concludes the interview. Again,
Wonderful.
thank you so much.
Yes.
I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Okay.
And thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your morning, evening, or night. Yeah. Bye bye.